disciplinary complaint, or in the alternative, a hearing on the proposed adjudication agreement for mixed martial artist Sean O'Malley.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Detmer from the Attorney General's Office on behalf of Executive Director Bob Bennett. What is being presented for the Commission's consideration is a proposed adjudication agreement with respondent Sean O'Malley. Executive Director Bob Bennett filed a disciplinary complaint against the respondent when he tested positive for Ostarine, an anabolic steroid, ahead of his bout scheduled for October 6, 2018. Pursuant to NAC 467.571, a first-time offense for an anabolic would carry a suspension range from 9 to 24 months and a fine that can range from 15 to 30% of a purse. For a substance like Ostarine, what the Commission would typically do is render a suspension of 1 year with a 20% purse fine. However, under circumstances in which a respondent takes responsibility for the adverse analytical finding, the Commission will observe NAC 467.576, which gives the Commission the discretion to deviate from the standard and reduce its suspension by 50%. In the instant case, based on the Commission's regulations, its disciplinary precedent, as well as Mr. O'Malley taking responsibility for the adverse finding, the parties have reached a proposed adjudication agreement. Per the terms, which are more fully stated within the agreement, there would be a 6-month suspension which would expire on March 5th, 2019. And since the positive test was prior to the fight, there was no purse. And since there was no purse, there can be no fine. There nonetheless, though, would be attorney fees in the amount of $472.42. That's 472.42. Additionally, should he seek licensure in Nevada, he would have to drug test again 30, 15, and 3 days out. Be tested for diuretic steroids and drugs of abuse. Lastly, the suspension would remain in effect until all fees are paid or there's a payment plan established with the Director. In consultation with Director Bennett and in consideration of the facts and circumstances, it is believed that this is a fair resolution and compliant with the regulations and consistent with the Commission's disciplinary precedent. And with that, I submit.
Executive Director Bennett, this was a UFC fight, correct? UFC fighter, or no?
That is correct, Jim.
It is. Okay. Do we have any testing results from them? This was Nevada's testing.
That's good.
The testing results, as far as from USADA, came back with Ostarine.
So this was their test? This
Yes.
was not a Nevada test?
That's
I guess
right.
I'm trying to figure out who was the testing agency on this.
The lab was UCLA, actually, now that I take that back.
USADA, Jim.
So it was their internal testing program that caught this, not ours?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. All right, great. I don't have any questions. Any commissioners have any questions?
Commissioner Bennett, can you tell us a little bit more about what led to the 6-month and him owning this and him apparently, I don't know what your phrase was, him owning this and engaging in something to resolve this?
And if I may, Commissioner Hahn, in discussion, so Mr. McKenzie is represented by counsel, and he's not present today on the phone or in person, but is willing to call in if need be. In the back and forth, Mr. O'Malley was willing to take responsibility for the fact that the substance, the Ostarine, was in fact in his system. And per the regulations and precedent, with that responsibility, there is a history of reducing the suspension based on that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, look for a motion on item number 7. New business.
I would move on new business number 7 that Sean O'Malley be suspended for 6 months and that suspension ending on March 5th, 2019 as recommended.
Okay, great.
And members of the Commission, if I may, there also was a request for attorney fees in the amount of
$472.42.
and the drug testing, as well as the suspension remain in effect.
Yeah, if I'd offered a friendly amendment to the Commissioner here, I think it really would be a motion just to approve the adjudication agreement as proposed by the Attorney General, and that would encompass all of the things that they've agreed to that you're saying.
I thank the Commission.
Okay, so a second on that?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Great, motion passes unanimously.